present and ask Siyun for advice, because we were trying to mimic that sophisticated, even balanced look, mathematically correct. And one of those fonts was this, and up until we tried it on the title wall, we can't really tell if it was working or not weight wise, and putting it next to the stroke of the line. So this font really came out to be the main pick for the whole system. Yeah. Yeah, it's basic. Yeah, it's basically just like having a mathematically set up title wall is how I would say to someone else that might be a little bit confused if they need a simpler explanation of how it is. But then if they're interested, they could always read the intro text, which really explains why it's mathematically set up, why it's in a grid system, because that's just the way he lived his life as an artist.
I think your brochure is really interesting, and how you play with materiality, how you explain it as well in your presentation. I kind of want to see like the grid, how you play with the grid, because you played it really well in the brochure. Like for instance, in the poster, you can even maybe like play with more than like not just one column, application of one column. Maybe you can like split it into two columns for the body type that you have like on the right panel, top bottom right. I feel like it's gonna be more interesting, like, and relating more to the void and volume that you have.
Yeah. So I did use the same grid system, but I noticed that this is not a corporate identity, and I keep reminding myself that. So that's why I went for a system that was a complete. It's still similar when you look at the brochure, but it's just different, so they could differentiate which part is the brochure, which part is the poster, just to have that.
I just feel like
Yeah.
maybe the line length for the bottom one is just a bit too long.
Got it. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Take that note. Thank you.
Overall, you did a good job presenting your project today. I know that was important to you. So kudos for that. And just, always see your presentation in each project as practice. As just one point on the continuum of your evolving kind of learning experience at Art Center. So I think that's really quite healthy. I like the thoughtfulness of your title wall, that the number of times the title is seen is reflective of the number of gallery goers coming into the space. I think that's really kind of cool, I think that there's so much about his work that has so many conceptual layers to it, and yet you don't want to do too much to the work. You want to just frame it in a very thoughtful way. I think you've done that. I think some really good feedback on your posters. I would say one font, one weight, maybe even one scale. Just really keep it super minimal, and maybe this position could be the thing that creates hierarchy and directs the eye within the space of the poster. You're kind of getting towards that, in the way that your project has evolved over the course of the semester, and just listening to you talk about it. I like the materiality of your brochure. I would say maybe consider the reading experience too. Like I almost want to have this as your cover.
Oh, I see.
This here, and then it kind of, this is oriented correctly, and then it opens up, and the artwork is upright.
Oh.
So just thinking through some of those details, because again, within a space that is so tightly and conceptually restrained, every little thing kind of matters.
I see.
And I love the way you've subdivided your poster into 4 equal sections. That feels right for Judd. And the repetition that we see in the work that you've curated here is reflective of the repetition we're seeing in the title wall. They all kind of work from the same kind of visual space, which is a really good thing. And it's nice. Like, I'm glad you just in listening to you talk, seems like you're drawing a contrast between corporate
and
graphic
cultural.
design identity
And cultural. Yeah.
And cultural does give you a lot of space to explore, you know. What's nice is sometimes corporate might move into a space that's a little bit more flamboyant and attention grabbing, you know, because it's got to elicit a kind of response. It wants to sell you something, right? So you chose a subject matter and an approach that kind of does the opposite of that. And when you have a project like this in your portfolio versus a project that's more corporate, it just demonstrates your range as a designer, which is really good. A really good thing, you know. So overall, really good stuff. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. So, yeah.
First of all, I think it came out really nicely at the end.
I get so scared.
In the beginning, like, you had a lot of different sketches that that had a. I think we're still like working with the modular grid system, but the grid was not.
No, because we were like either focusing on the.
But I'm glad that you figured out all the grid system and then also the relationship between the type size and the line weight, spacing in between this layer of space. I think those are done pretty well, especially on your brochure. I think that the motion of your title wall could be a bit more minimal because it feels a little different from the rest of your applications here. I think you can minimize the movement. Like, you don't even like need to have those masking type on the side, and even the lines could just appear instead of having that motion, like that slow motion.
Yeah.
It could be just very quick, like boom, 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 right?
Oh yeah.
Something like
that was the
minimal. Less. Like effortless.
Yeah.
That's one thing that you can maybe like revise during the break if you want. Also, like, since everything is so type driven here, I'll pay more attention to your type, the baseline. Because it's not always hitting the line from the baseline, so I'll really be careful.
Yeah, it's either it goes over.
And even on your brochure, like.
It's hitting it.
I mean, this is okay, but like maybe here, like sometimes
it's not hitting.
You're not really like touching the baseline of your type. Then I think it needs to be more intentional in terms of how much space you want to give. If you want to give space to it. But but I think overall, like, the system is working really well, and love the paper stock that you chose here.
When you told me to play with like how the paper material is, and also I guess like going out of the constraints of what was it called again? It's not control identity, a corporate identity. That really gave me a little extra length of room to think. Because I think we're getting used to the fact that we have to do corporate identity for other classes. So going back to this, I really had to exclude myself from the other classes and really like let myself be flexible to add in or take out certain things. So it really helped. But yeah, I guess I think one of my weakness would be motion that I'm still working on. But I know for a fact, like frame by frame, I already had the vision. I just needed to work on it even more.
Even the PDF that you brought last time, we just clicked through the 3 pages, right? I think it could be that motion, like just click, click, click. I think that works better than like having it coming from the left and disappearing, and even like the paragraph on the right. Like, I think it's creating a different
feel.
Feel to it.
Just I thought about stacking because like he really loves stacking. So, that's Donald Judd. I'm not a big fan after learning a lot about him because he really appreciates the work, but he hates other people. And it's like, you're not supporting, but you know what? Maybe he has a point on some parts of his book. So that was interesting to highlight. But philosophically, he is pretty scary to talk about philosophical artwork, so I'm not gonna even touch that part.
It was also shocking seeing his sketch.
Oh yeah.
Because we thought, because when you talked
Yeah.
about his process, you said he usually like
Um,
sketch something
yeah.
out and then hand it over to
He
the
would hand it,
computer,
yeah,
right?
and then they
So
would
in
build
my
it.
mind, I thought would be a very precise drawing, but it was like
It's like
sketched
any.
at a 5-year-old.
It's like, yeah, it's like
So
our regular
it
sketches.
was
So
very shocking to me.
yeah, it was really interesting. He's an interesting man, but he definitely loves his void and volume for sure.
Great job,
Yeah. Thank you.
Jenny,
Okay.
did you cover everyone?
Oh, I see. Okay. Do you want the pins? Can I get? Yeah. I have so many pins. Get it, get it, get it. I'm letting you. I cut. Oh, when I cut this. Oh yeah, itu cuma karingan eh. You can get this too. It's just his name. Laser cut. That's it. And you can have this as a
What is this?
void.
Void.
Void. It's not as pretty as you think it would. Yeah. Just get it. There's a lot. Yeah. Just get it. I don't need it. Oh, we're done.